Couple of emails, RAD@radradio.com. First one is from Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Says, I started using MAP training in Greg's program at trainwithmap.com in November. It's a great program. The workouts are good, and so are the meal plans. I was doing well, and I lost 10 pounds.
Woohoo!
But gained it all back after Thanksgiving.
Oh,
I got really discouraged, and I'm really disappointed in myself.
Oh.
I'm doing the workouts, and I'm trying to stick to the meal plans. I'm a stress and emotional eater. How do I get over this slump that I'm having right now? I am getting discouraged with myself. It's so fascinating that you wrote, Wendy, because Greg from trainwithmap.com is in the studio with us.
Yay,
I'm
Greg.
here.
And maybe you can offer to Wendy. So, because when I first saw that, I went, how do you gain 10 pounds? Stress and emotional eating.
Yeah.
And, of course, now she's discouraged and she's depressed and she's everything that you helped her get to, it's all gone. What are you going to tell her?
We're going to get right back to it. So the biggest thing is if there's something in particular happening, just reach out to me. I'm literally a text away when you're a MAP member. But more importantly, there's a couple things that I've stolen. I'll just put it out there. The book Atomic Habits by James Clear has so many good pieces of information in it. Most importantly being, if you're associating stress to food, that's a really tough issue to break. So what you need to do is break the pathway. And his from the book is, next time you get stressed and you want to go to the kitchen, you can, but all you have to do is put your running shoes on first. That's it. So all of a sudden you're having to eat your snacks with your running shoes on, which feels really weird. And then you start to break the habit and you associate stress with running shoes, not food.
See, because you're more than just a meal planner and a personal trainer and a nutritionist. You're like a counselor too, right? You're like a therapist, a psychologist.
Very much.
I mean, there's so much of what you do is the mind.
Absolutely. And I'm love being that person for people. I will say I'm doing it as a friend and a trainer. I am not officially a counselor, but it is a major role of what we play, and that's part of the accountability that we loop in.
So who's your trainer? Who's your therapist?
Yeah.
Who's your mental trainer?
There's a punching bag over at MAP training. It works really well for me, but we all have our outlets.
I just want to add for her, who's had a life of that as well, is like you need to be honest and recognize it, because sometimes people can get in like autopilot, right? It's just what they've always done, and you know that, right? So you know this to be true. You already knew the reasons why. So like if you're reaching for something, you're not hungry, take a beat, take a breath. I mean, put the running shoes on, like whatever, to like, is that real? Am I really hungry, or am I just feeding my emotions right now or something?
Take up smoking instead. Oh, you probably would advise that. Okay.
Not for me.
We also got this one from Jennifer. She just wrote in and said, "Oh, yay! I love it when Greg's on the show.
Wow.
I have started and stopped with Greg a couple of times. He's always been so patient with me. He is truly the most understanding person. Meeting him in person is what really got me off my butt this time, and I've stuck with it. I'm down over 10 pounds now and feel so much better. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for having Greg as a radvertiser."
I always get so excited when I hear the first name and I already know who it is.
Aww.
So yeah, you and Suzanne are doing really well this time.
So
I won't say a last name.
So that's helpful because we've got an update here, and you'll remember the story better. I vaguely remember the story of Josh, who was considering, what was it like he was so desperate he was going to do gastric bypass?
Yep, exactly.
And then and was it a maggot that sponsored his? So what happened?
Yeah, so that was coming up. Josh was talking about getting the gastric surgery. I forget which one exactly. He was a little, beyond his means and just ready to do something. Well, a maggot just randomly called me and volunteered to sponsor Josh for one of our 6-week challenges. And that's where we left off. So I don't know how deep you want me to go here. Okay, so Josh crushed it. Yeah, he absolutely crushed it. And he didn't even work directly with me the entire time. He worked with one of my trainers, Jen, which I'm sure everyone has met at this point. She's on the app constantly. And she's actually local here to us. And I want to say he lost close to 30 pounds in 6 weeks. I forget the exact number, so don't totally quote me on that. But the last time I talked to him, he was super motivated. He was happy to go on and do it himself. And the last time I checked, he was still anti-surgery.
Oh, thank God. Oh, my God. You changed his life.
Literally.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Now, for people who are, because you do everything from weight loss to weight gain, muscle building, everything in between.
Weight gain.
People that hear that, like Brandon, people that hear that, 30 pounds ish in 6 weeks. What's normal? What's healthy? What do you expect? What do you tell people? Here's what we can expect to accomplish.
Yeah, so I've actually been ramping it up, right? I never like to make promises that I don't feel I can keep, right? So I always say I rub the truth, but I don't lie. It's not going to be hard, but
Ish.
right, it is difficult. So the people who who really dedicate themselves, I have seen lose 20 and 30 pounds in 6 weeks. I think that is the absolute high end. More likely, we see 4 to 5% body fat lost and a couple of pounds. It is people who have more weight to lose that are able to lose those higher amounts.
Now, you threw me for a loop this morning when you emailed me, because I had a bunch of stories laid out in a particular order. You know me and my storytelling thing. And when I saw what your next program is, I said, okay, I got to change this around, because because you actually changed my thinking a little bit too. We're going to talk a little bit about kind of what Dawn's acknowledging here about you have to acknowledge the problem. Then we talk about personal responsibility. There is a whole new movement out there again that says basically being overweight, it's not your fault at all.
Oh, Jesus God.
And some of the research may indicate that what we've talked about before is more true than ever, that some people have to work harder to stay healthy. So I was going to go through all of that, and then I was going to get to this last story, and I was going to say, oh, this is so ridiculous. But when I saw your email, I went, well, now wait a minute. What if we do this from a different angle? The story is still stupid.
Okay.
The story was that a study has found that if you pay obese people to lose weight, it doubles their rate of fat loss. And after we had already talked about everything, it was going to be like, oh, well, okay, this is the only thing that we'll do. My problem with the story is they took morbidly obese adults and they told them to lose 10 pounds in 6 months and paid them.
Oh.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Even an obese person can do that standing on their head if the incentive is enough. If they're not doing it for the right reasons. And Dr. Melanie J., who's the medic at New York Langone, who ran the study, said her study provided firm evidence that cash incentives help solve America's obesity problem.
Compared to what?
God,
So
wow.
we were just going to rip all that.
That is
But
just terrible.
when I got your email, I said, well, now wait a minute. Maybe the theory's right. It's how you do it. The theory is incentivize people. Give them something. Give them the carrot and the stick thing. Because not everybody is... Every time you're on, people aren't ready. They haven't been ready for months. Today's not the day, etc. And so I get your email, and you are doing the Mission Slim Possible Challenge.
You like that name?
But what is your hang up with 6 weeks? Where does the 6 week thing come from?
It's attainable. I love the 12-week programs that we've built. I love people coming on for a year at a time, but 6 weeks, we can do anything for 6 weeks. We can change our life in 6 weeks. We can ruin our life in 6 weeks. But it's an attainable amount of time where you go, okay, it's a little over a month. I can handle that. And I've seen amazing results in that time frame. So it's just something I've honed in on.
All right. So what is Mission Slim Possible? Because the incentive is a big one.
Right. So what we've done, a lot of people are familiar with our 6 week programs. It's something what we started doing in-house, which is really where I tested this. And now I'm moving it to the online platform too. So both are available. But the Mission Slim Possible, what we did was we took our 6 week challenge and we ramped the menus into something much more simplified. A lot of people are struggling to follow exact meal plans right now. So we went with more very helpful guidelines that are still custom to each individual. So there's the nutrition side. The fitness side, we are working the workouts in around holiday parties and all this other nonsense. It's all scheduled into your calendar.
So this is all right now? This is right now. This is for the holiday.
This is coming up. Yeah,
When's
absolutely.
it start? When's it start?
As soon as you sign up, it starts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I will say, I'll just throw this out there now. I limited it to 16 spots this time. Way less than before. We were doing 20 and 25 spots in the prior. Reason we ramped this down is because we are doing daily accountability with this. Not twice a week, not, hey, check in every once in a while. It is daily, and it's on both ends. So the way that we did this is you will have to check in with us weight-wise with photos daily through the app.
That's not the incentive, by the way. For those of you going,
I'm ramping
Jesus,
up to
that
it.
sounds awful.
You're right?
Daily accountability? This is terrible.
Yeah. So I'll daily accountability. You heard about the menus. Obviously, our workouts are awesome. You guys have seen the results from that. You've heard people call in. Awesome. I couldn't help but repeat it. But the real incentive is you can earn this entire program for free.
Wow.
Yeah, soak that one in.
Wow.
So this is no joke. This is no gimmick. This is literally for free. So all you're going to do is you make a deposit, right? Because if I do this for free, no one shows up. It's just how it works, right? You'll download the app and I'll never hear from you again. But if you put your money where your mouth is, I'm betting on you to win it back. So
Oh, great.
when you hit your goals at the end of this 6 weeks,
This is the fine print here.
right?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to follow through. And the list is on the website too, and we'll talk about it, is you have to stick to the daily accountability. You have to send me pictures of your menu items as you're going through the food list. You have to respond to my messages when I'm asking where your headspace is. And at the end of the 6 weeks, when you hit your goal, which I'm assuming is going to be 15 to 20 pounds lost or 4 or 5% body fat, I'm going to credit all the money back to you. So you get the entire program for free, and you can apply that credit to any program you want. So you literally have the cheapest way to stay on track the rest of the year.
And they can sign up right now?
You can sign up right now. There, remember, 16 spots, but it's on trainwithmap.com/radradio. And yeah, it's going to be awesome.
That's like a Christmas gift you can get for someone that maybe you'll get back.
Yeah, truly.
I mean, honestly.
Well, now to that point, if they sign up today, do they have to start today, or could it be a later start date? Could somebody go, oh, I really want to do this, but I'm traveling. Like, you're heading back to Boston soon for the holidays. But what if somebody says, okay, I'll deposit it today, but I can't do this till December 15th?
No worries. I'll get ahead on the bonuses. I have a traveling tips and tricks sheet ready for you to help you get through your travels, because putting this off is just a great way to say that you don't care about yourself now. And why are you going to put it off for what? For Christmas, one day, you want to give up on what you really want. Don't you want to get ahead of the game come New Year's? Like, imagine being halfway through January and already being where you want to be. Like, imagine that feeling. Yeah, you can start today.
Yeah, I could imagine. I mean, everybody's going to be traveling for the holidays. If they get signed up for this program right now, they could then brag to their family when they get some nasty junk food put in front of them. They'd be like, oh, no, I'm on this program right now. I'm doing better for myself. Look at me go.
Now, to that point, we've talked to you before about the holidays. You're not telling people to not enjoy the holidays, are you?
Not at all. I have a full recipe book also ready, right? And this recipe falls within the food, I don't want to say restraints, but within the food lists that I'm going to provide, so that you can create meals to bring to a family party. And that way you have something to reach out to.
And these meals are delicious.
Of course.
And you don't feel like you're depriving yourself. This is one of the food thing, to me, when I talk to people, is one of the big fears. Like, and I know they're all excuses basically, but they're like, I can't eat. A lot of people are still stuck in the rice cake era.
Oh yeah.
I can't eat styrofoam all the time. and so I like to remind people, you take that into account.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I like to say, especially for wanting such big results in 6 weeks, I am going to push some of your favorite foods off, but that doesn't mean we can't bring them back in as the results come in. You just have to forego them for a short period of time. But that doesn't mean rice cakes, chicken, and broccoli, right? We get creative with the meals. I like food as much as the next guy, trust me. So we will build around some of your favorites. I'm sure you'll find some on the list that I'm going to provide, and we'll build and build and build until we have recipes that fit your needs.
So it's trainwithmap.com/radradio, and it'll be right there. The slim, what do we call it? The Mission Slim Possible.
Mission Slim Possible.
And I'm wondering, like, if some people that are traveling are like they might think it's impossible to exercise when you travel. Like if they're staying at someone else's house or in a hotel,
Here
but I
comes this
feel like
story again.
you have a million workouts and someone could do whatever if they're in the guest room or in a hotel, if there didn't happen to be a gym and there's outside, like there's people, I think they need all, what they have at home.
There's a lot of things we think we need that we don't, right? I mean, if you have your body weight and you can sacrifice maybe 30 minutes, I can build a workout for you.
Well, and Dawn is speaking from experience back when she was insane.
Oh.
Well, you ran the stairs, didn't you, at a hotel?
Absolutely. Like we're like, how is there? First of all, I always checked if there was a gym in the hotel. It was numero uno.
Nice.
But we were on such a budget that there wasn't. So we're like, oh, but there's stairs. So we did walking lunges. We ran up and down the stairs. One of our friends is like, you're crazy. We're on vacay. We're like, we don't care. This is how we're able to drink. So we're like, I know you would encourage that, but we were fit. But we're like, this is how we'll. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Just look around. There's always something.
Val wrote in and said, my husband and I love MAP. When I came to Greg, I had no ab strength at all, which just killed my lower back and the beginning of a frozen shoulder. This morning, I realized the bump on my shoulder is gone and my range of motion has improved in my shoulder and my back. Thank you, Greg.
Oh my
Val
God.
the firecracker.
What is a frozen shoulder?
Yeah.
So frozen shoulder, it's
God.
actually a condition where we have a tendency to roll our shoulders forward, and the shoulders are such a shallow joint that they can pinch different nerves and literally take away movement in the arm. And it can
Damn.
be really painful for some people depending on how severe it is. But hers was bad enough that she literally had what looked like a bone protrusion in her collarbone.
Ow.
And it's been a couple of months now, but completely gone.
Wow.
Phone number is 888-989-9811 with Greg from Train with MAP. RADTV.com. We got this email from Asia.
Hey,
right
Asia.
away wants to make sure we don't hate her. She says, let me start by saying I am not vegan.
Yay!
But
We're on the same page.
There's a but.
I am lactose intolerant,
Oh,
so I
sweetie.
can't do any whey protein powders. I really like Greg's vanilla milkshake and put it in my coffee every morning. My question for Greg is, will Maptrition come out with any other flavors in the vegan protein powders? The other flavors always sound so good, and I would love to try them without the unpleasant side effects that I get from whey.
Right. So I would love to tell you it's in the pipeline. It's kind of on the back burner right now to come out with more of the vegan protein. However, I have cheated the system myself because I use it on occasion. And what I do is I just dry out fruit and I blend it into the powder, or I just add my own seasonings. So my favorite is I use the vanilla committed protein with cinnamon, and I use that for some of my waffles on occasion.
And if you go to
very nice.
radradio.com, if you go to the Stupid Store,
Superstore.
there's a Maptrition drop-down, and all of Greg's Maptrition products are there. Can you run through some of the flavors that that she's enticing people with?
Oof, we've got the twisted cinnamon, also known as cinnamon roll around here, which is the crowd favorite, right?
like.
Cookies and cream and chocolate. I know all of those are in stock. And of course, the lemonade smasher when you're ready to ramp your day up.
All at radradio.com in the Stupid Store.
Superstore.
Under Maptrition, Christina just wrote in and simply said, I'm in. So she's registered.
That's
for
awesome.
The Mission Slim Possible. All right, here's what a couple of things I wanted to throw at you, Greg. USA Today, for some reason, has spent the last 2 months really hammering this obesity is not your fault, not your responsibility line. And I've been reading all of it. You have to be a subscriber to read all of it. If you're fascinated by this, it might even be worth it because I mean, they really dive into it. But the short version of some of it is extra weight is often considered a personal failing, but lots of factors beyond an individual's power contribute to weight gain, including food deserts, the cost of healthy food, and stress. If we just start there, how would you respond? I mean, do you have an open mind at all that there's a lot of things that contribute to it?
Sure, they all contribute, but they're all controllable. They didn't mention one thing that's not within your power to change. Stress levels, I mean, I mentioned 2 ways already in this conversation how to control that, right? And I understand that it can be difficult, but it is not impossible or slim possible. But even some of those things that they're saying, I will say it is more difficult. You know, I have a woman who comes to me, she's like 4 foot nothing, and she wants to weigh 100 pounds. Life in that scenario is very difficult because there are so many high calorie things available to us now. Difficulty, very high. Possibility, endless.
What about this canard? This one drives me nuts, that it's more expensive to eat healthy.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous compared to what, right? So they're walking down the pre-made food aisle. They're looking at $3 protein bars. They're looking at low sugar this and low fat that instead of walking to the produce. The produce is really cheap, and so is chicken. Those are very healthy, simple foods to eat and cook.
My niece Queenie, that was on our show for quite a while. Her mom, my sister, single mom, 3 kids, and she's healthy, has been, you know, that's like she's a health nut and always has been. And she was on a tight budget. I mean, she didn't even have a bedroom. Do you know what I mean? That's how tight their budget was. She slept on the couch, and she always made healthy meals. It was always possible. Did it take her a little longer? Yeah. Did she get as much sleep as the other moms? Probably not, because she's doing it herself, right? She had all of those stressors of working a lot, not getting a lot of sleep, getting her workouts in, being there for her kids, and she did not have the money. People envision how much health food is going to cost. She made it happen, and she did not have all this extra money lying around.
We talked about this a little bit a couple times ago.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is the American way is give me a pill. And a new generation of anti-obesity medications are coming on the market with the promise of reducing weight by more than 20%, which is more than that's ever been possible outside of surgery. There's 3 of them. There's Wegovy, which is already out there. It's really expensive, but it's available. And then there's tirzepatide from Eli Lilly. They're using the diabetes drug Ozempic. And there's another third anti-obesity medication called AMG 133 that is also under development. Now, they're showing really good results, 20% or so in clinical trials. There are extraordinary side effects. In clinical trials, 73% of patients who took Wegovy reported gastrointestinal disorders, including nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. No surprise, they all said it was worth it.
Oh.
Obviously, this is all about one thing. The last sentence of the story. Analysts estimate the weight loss medication field will generate $50 billion annually by 2030, with more than 40% of Americans meeting the definition for having obesity and 70% being considered overweight. Take a pill. Why not?
So, well, let's start here. It's $50 billion, and I'm trying to give you your money back. Let's start there, right? But to really boil it down, and I actually just had this conversation to explain cleanses and some of these shake diets that are out there. One is, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But here's what happens. When you take those pills, there is nothing encouraging your body to process food correctly, and more importantly, maintain lean muscle mass. So if you're taking a weight loss pill, you are bound to lose lean muscle mass. So yes, your weight on the scale will drop. You will apparently lose inches, but your body fat percentage will rise because you've now lost lean muscle, you've lost water, which is very conductive for your body, and yet your body fat mass has stayed very high. So you're less efficient, you're burning less calories per day, you're more likely to put the weight back on, and worst of all, you're now more unhealthy than you were at the higher weight. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That is crazy to me. So to take a pill and think that it's going to fix everything is absolutely ridiculous. There's no such thing.
And most of these people that are doing this, all they're fixing is what they see in the mirror.
Exactly.
That's what they're focused on.
Or a number on a scale, which means nothing.
Yeah, like that. Honestly, that's what saddens me the most about this is because like they clearly don't care about their health, right? They don't. To me, you don't. And I'm sorry if I'm prejudging you, but my personal opinion is if you're looking for a magic pill, you just don't care how you feel. And if you are healthy, you're just more concerned about what you look like in a mirror. And this is how you'll see skinny people that will think are healthy that are like a walking heart attack or whatever, because they're not healthy, right? They're envisioning, thin always equals health. But it's like, no, you're, Greg, promoting here's how you become healthy, and then the after fact, you might like yourself visually, right? Like, but to me, that makes me so sad. They're just concentrating on the visual.
Right, and unfortunately, I don't think it's that they don't necessarily care. I think they're just so misled. Like, that sounds like a very reliable source. I know, right? I care about people. Yeah. They're just misled. Something that's supposed to be honest and reputable and, something that we can back with science is essentially lying to them based on some basic results. But it's amazing to me how far people will go for people other than themselves. You talked about Queenie's mom. How far did she go to make things work, right? Why wouldn't you do that for yourself? Well, why not?
Phone number is 888-989-9811 with Greg from MAP Training and trainwithmap.com. Danielle says we're talking about the MAPtrition products. You can go to radradio.com, go to the Stupid Store.
Superstore.
There's a drop down. You alluded to the Smasher powder. Says, does the Smasher powder contain the ingredient that makes you feel tingly, a.k.a. the feeling of bugs crawling on me? I know it's common for pre-workouts, and I hate that feeling.
That is called beta-alanine. It's called the niacin flush. So it's a B vitamin that rushes blood to your skin and causes like nerve conduction, so it feels all tingly. We do have a dose in there, but it will not be enough to really make your skin tingle. Just don't take more than a scoop.
Let's go to our Smasher expert. You get bugs all over you?
No, not at all. I don't even get I know what he's talking about because the first time I did take Smasher, I noticed it. But the more often I took it, my body acclimated to it. So now I don't feel any of the side effects besides the fact that I'm just more energized and focused.
Brian says, I work in the Bay Area as an electrician. I weigh 350 pounds. I stay out of town all week long. Can you help me?
Absolutely. I'd actually love to help you because I can't imagine what your day is like as an electrician trying to maneuver around at that weight and how good it would feel to feel better.
And you can help anyone around the world, literally. You do help people around the world.
Yeah, quite literally. I mean, I have some like German recipes in my arsenal now because I had to, adjust for some of these ethnic things, but yeah.
Janae wrote in and said, I signed up about 3 months ago for the monthly workout plan with Greg and MAP Training. I did great initially, but am literally a failure.
No,
I get anxiety just seeing I have notifications because I feel so stuck to get back in. Is it possible to switch my monthly to the 12-week transformation? I think she means 16 or 8 or 6. I don't know. Yeah. Do you have a 12-week?
I have a 12-week, but I think people got a little misled on the 12-week. We pre-built those. So obviously I put a lot of care into it. I designed them, but it doesn't contain the coaching aspect, which is how I was able to price it the way that I was.
I mean, I know the answer is ultimately going to be you're going to figure this out. But the good news is she's not looking to bail. She says, I don't know that I can commit to the 6-week hardcore plan, but I know I need to get my butt in gear doing something.
Yeah, so let's figure it out together. I hate to just point you in a direction without talking to you when I'm a text message away. So just shoot me a message back, blank out all those old notifications, and we'll start fresh.
Lindsay says, I'm pregnant, but I want to be more active. Can your workouts be safe and comfortable for pregnancy?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have trainers that are probably more experienced in it than I am, but I have worked with many women that are post-pregnancy and or postpartum and pregnancy.
Bobby says, I'm really interested in your program, but I'm also older. And have arthritis in my knees and back. Can you make a workout program and weight loss program for someone like me?
One of these days, you guys are going to give me something a little more challenging. But absolutely. I mean, a lot of that stuff we can kibosh. Some of the effects of feeling old or feeling inflamed and the joint pain, we can get rid of a lot of that through nutrition, and then the workouts are just going to stack on top of that. So age is truly just a number.
And the special thing is the Mission Slim Possible 6-week challenge available now. There's only 16 spots. Trainwithmap.com/radradio. And if you do the whole thing right and you do the accountability right, he credits it all back to you when you're done.
I've talked about my father-in-law, Pops, his brother, who's also our Uncle Ray. Is it called muscle atrophy when you get so old and you haven't used it? He had it so bad. And like he was late 70s, and he's like mid 80s now, and he could not lift anything. He could not get up and down on the ground, like nothing. And he started working out and being healthier with his son. And oh my God, he's got his muscles back.
Yeah.
To this day, he's lifting weights, a few times a week. I mean, it's just, I think people, it's too late. And I mean, he was his late 70s and turned this around and made it happen for himself.
Hello there, Sean. Go ahead.
Hey, how are you?
Good. What's up?
I have a couple questions. The first one is, are most of your workouts good for home?
They can be, because I custom build them for you.
And then the other question I had is, my wife and I want to lose weight, but we need my son to gain weight.
Wow.
Is that something also that's doable?
Yeah, it's absolutely doable. So depending on the age of your son would really determine how I approach that situation, because kids' metabolisms are absolutely insane. they eat more than I do, which is impressive. But yes, it's something that we can totally adapt. He would just have a little more free, or she would have a little more free reign.
Oh, and he'd love that.
Oh yeah, neener, look at my plate.
Phone number is 888-989-9811. We're with Greg from trainwithmap.com. Hi there, Josh.
Hey, I had a question for Greg. I had, about 4 years ago, I had gone on a really, really strict diet, and basically, I'd watched some of these weight loss, shows, whatever, and you hear, somebody lost 50 pounds, 80 pounds, whatever. They say results are, not common kind of thing, and I really wanted to try to lose as much weight as I possibly could, and I wanted to know if there's an unhealthy rate of weight loss. And the reason I ask is, so I had started this diet, and in about 14 months, I lost 140 pounds.
Whoa.
Okay, 10 a month.
And so I had gone on basically like no sugar, no carbs, and after the first few weeks, man, I was just so sick to my stomach, and I was so.
Phone cut out.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that a problem, or is he detoxing there, or what's going on all there?
No, well, I mean, he lost 140 pounds. He obviously had a lot of weight to lose, which on a proper diet, that can happen very quickly. But cutting sugars out completely probably would have got him there. Cutting carbs out completely got him there and got him sick. So he had me right up until that point. But I don't want to say there's an unhealthy weight loss rate, because it's different for everybody. Science will tell you it's 2 pounds a week in a perfect world, but that's pretty uncommon.
We got this email from Mary. It says, so excited. I just signed up for the Mission Slim Possible program. I am ready to lose weight.
Amazing.
Now, we may have already filled the spots, or this may be operator error. Amber says, I'm trying to sign up, but my phone is not allowing me to hit the submit button.
Oh,
I want to do the 6 weeks. Am I doing something wrong?
At 16 spots, it might be gone, because I triple checked it, because we've crashed my website before. So if you can't get in, if it is a user error, I will double check it. I'll check the timestamp here, and if need be, I'll go fix it for you.
And if all 16 spots are filled up, they should still contact you if what they're hearing from you is motivating. There's other things you can do with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, whether we restart a 6 weeks down the road after this one goes phenomenally, which I know it will, or a monthly program is a good fit until then, we'll figure it out for you.
I just see all these people going, oh, well, I was going to sign up when I got to work. Well, I just won't become healthy now.
I try to kill all the excuses, but man, they pop up fast.
No Name says, I had a stroke 3 years ago, left side's very little movement. Can you help me?
Yeah, absolutely. We've run into some really difficult cooking situations where people literally found it dangerous to cook for one reason or another, one condition or another. We can literally work around anything. So I challenge you to bring those to me.
Hello there, Tony.
Good morning, y'all. So you kind of already just answered this question, but I'm running it one more time. I've got two 14-year-olds that are ending their freshman year, and they're trying to gain some weight for football next year. But I also have a 12-year-old, and I want to know if you think he's too young to do some type of program too, because he plays football as well, and if there's anything you could do for my three boys.
Yeah, it's no problem at all. So I've worked with really young kids as young as 5 as far as athletics go. Obviously, that's too young to be weightlifting. 12 years old, it's actually pretty safe in small amounts as long as we keep an eye on his form. And then it's all about nutrition, right? 12-year-olds and 16-year-olds usually aren't eating the best food, and just narrowing that down and fitting the food into their day. Those kids are busy, man. They have lots of schoolwork, lots of homework, lots of training. They need a lot of calories, and they need them in smaller meals.
I realize you weren't alive then, but I'm having flashbacks to high school. This may surprise you, but I had to bulk up when I was playing baseball. And the only thing we had was that damn powder, which gave you all these calories, and you had to drink it in shakes every day, like 3 times a day. You're consuming 5,000 calories a day, and it was awful. And you had to do it. God, and now they have you.
Right.
These kids are spoiled.
This is my dawn moment. God,
It's not fair.
I didn't have that.
I can't wait for a few years down the road. My 3-year-old, he is going to be jacked. He eats all the supplements. He comes in and asks my wife and I for shakes, and he runs around like he's going to make me look like a fool.
All right, so speaking of kids,
He's gonna be lifting
obesity is a problem, right? Obesity is through the roof. So what if we can stop it when they're kids? A new study found the rate of weight loss surgery amongst teenagers has doubled in recent years. Health experts say that early treatment helps to avoid obesity-related health conditions as an adult. So you got this really obese teen, and they go, well, if we don't stop this now, you're going to get high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, breathing problems such as asthma, sleep apnea, joint problems. Dr. Evan Nadler, director of the weight loss surgery program at Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C., says, quote, people are told by their friends and colleagues that it's the easy way out. They don't understand obesity is a multifactorial disease that comes with multiple treatments beyond diet and exercise.
Whoa.
Surgery for teenagers.
Whoa.
That guy deserves something. I don't know what words I'm allowed to say on the radio sometimes, so I'm just going to keep them to myself. Yeah, that's a great place to start. But at what point did we start approving surgery for teens? And it started in recent years,
Yeah,
right?
so this is,
okay.
yeah.
So in recent years, they found out that giving surgery to teens helps them as adults. How are they sure?
Exactly.
How are they sure?
What have they learned that it's going to transfer to adulthood?
So they're supposing,
oh
right?
my
But in other words, what you
God.
mean is they're suggesting that by giving them the surgery as teens, they'll stay at a healthy weight into their adulthood.
Yeah, no worries. We gave you a second try. You had it at birth. You weren't born obese. You never had that problem, right? So second try, you'll be fine. Well, maybe a third
And
or
it's
a fourth.
just to answer the question, somewhere again, this is the USA Today thing. It's deep in there for people that are interested. If the kid is medically obese, which is that whole BMI chart, body mass index, then they can be approved for the weight loss surgery with their parents' permission.
Shame on him and shame on their parents. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I don't like to judge parents because I get it. It's a hard job and you make decisions that you only know to make at the time with what information you have. But like that, to me, that's like allowing your 15-year-old to get a boob job. Like that's just disgusting. Worse probably because much worse. Yes. Bad example, but you get my drift.
Whitney says, I have had eating disorders and various forms of disordered eating my entire adult life. I've been working my butt off in therapy to fix my relationship with food. I have learned that I cannot be on a nutrition plan or have someone tell me what and what not to eat. That being said, I would love to have a workout plan. Is that something I can get?
So I'm gonna hit this from two sides. Yes, I can do a workout plan for you. We don't do workout plans by themselves. We do include it as part of the online training. And I say that because if I give you just one or the other, I'm going to be just like everybody else on the internet. And I'm not going to give you what you need to get it done. What I will throw out there, and I've actually talked to other people about this, is don't let anyone else tell you what can and can't work for you, because maybe you just haven't had the right plan. Maybe you haven't had the right coach. let us try. And somehow I think me giving you a healthy food list isn't going to send you off the deep end. And I'm happy to talk to you about it if it does.
I would caution you as well. What Greg said, I would, as someone who has everything you said that passed, and mine was very extreme to both scopes. I could be the most disciplined person on the planet, and every trainer loved me and then hated me because when I got off of it, I could go both cycles and be committed to both very much so. So it's like, you need to know where you're at mentally. I have known plenty of people in the eating disorder world who have gotten past all of that and then can go and have a plan. There are those that can't, and they just dedicate themselves to exercise, which then naturally leads them to want to make better choices for themselves as far as what they're feeding themselves. So, I think that, it's, I don't want to say get rid of whoever your therapist is, but you kind of want someone who in that world is understanding of that and doesn't subscribe to this one way only. So you need to know where you're at. That's where I'm at this point. The exercise part works. I cannot have these of what you discussed, but maybe I can later once I get over all of it. So, never count that out. But exercise, Greg's good with that, and that's always good for you.
Hello there. Robin, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey.
I'm curious. So my mom and I have been talking about wanting to do some sort of fit challenge together because we're both unhealthy. And she has lupus and is going through menopause. So I'm curious, is this Slim Possible thing like a one-size-fits-all, or are you still making modifications per your client?
Yeah, I don't do any one-size-fits-all, right? So I definitely have made some general lists that help me narrow things down, especially when it comes to the Slim Possible thing and the daily accountability. But by all means, it is still very custom. And if at any point in time we feel like we need to evolve to a full-blown meal plan that's more detailed, we'll just get that done because it's in your interest and my best interest for you to get the results in that time frame.
A couple more emails here for Greg from trainwithmap.com. Brianna says, I am also an on-again, off-again member of Greg's. I really enjoyed it, but I stopped again because I was paying a lot of money to lie to my trainer. I would do great for the week and drop anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds, and then I'd kill my weekends in vodka, Sprite, pizza, nachos, and crap. Then I'd start over Monday and tell my trainer my weekend went fine. I have a home gym, and I know how to eat healthy. How the heck do I just finally commit? I swear I'm a genuine person who doesn't make it a habit of lying in real life, but apparently I have no problem fibbing about my success to you when you're trying to help me.
Don't worry, I never fell for it. That's the first part. I always know that the results don't lie, right?
Exactly.
I know the plans work. I know that I've custom built them the correct way. So when it doesn't work, I know something's not right, But when it comes to getting on track like that, I think you just need to take a little reset and look at why you're doing those things instead of just going, oh, it's the weekend, this is what I do. As soon as you place an I am or I do this statement on yourself, you're putting yourself in your own box. So whether it's replacing that habit or just finding something else to fill the place of that habit, or, I kind of said the same thing twice, but you understand what I mean of changing what you're going into or figuring out why you're doing those things instead of being prepared to do them anyways.
And not to excuse it, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you have a fairly high rate of lying that you have to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. And working through that in the kindest way possible. I mean, I know everyone that we work with knows that I'm prodding at them sometimes to say, I know you lied to me, like what can we fix?
So you forgive Brianna.
Yeah.
And you'll happily continue to work with her.
Of course. Yeah, you can't break me.
You're not that guy who's going to be that abusive, parent or whatever people have in their life that uses the fact that they admit to lying to you against them.
Never. I'm here to be supportive in any way that I possibly can that is responsible. And, one thing I'd throw out to Brianna is, I think it's a Confucius quote, is that which you do not hate, you will tolerate.
By the way,
So-
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you just don't hate your weekend habits enough, then you're going to continue to tolerate them. You need to learn to literally hate those things.
I apologize. I was so excited. I wanted to let you know. Amber wrote back and said, me again, it was operator error. I have signed up for Mission Impossible.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, Greg's not going to put you on restriction, right? Like, he's not going to scream and yell. He's not going to be like, I'm never going to talk to you. And I feel when you can be honest about your food is when real change occurs. And you when you're in the hiding aspect of it, that's just, I don't know how there can be success with whatever your goals are. You just be, when you know you can be honest with the trainer, whoever it is you have the accountability to, you will change. and it makes you uncomfortable, you have to do it. That is where we change, is when we're uncomfortable.
How ironic. We just got this email from Troy that says, can you yell at me and make me feel ashamed when I don't work out? I need that kind of motivation to stay on any exercise routine. Otherwise, I don't keep up with it.
If you are local map training, I will make it rain if you need it. But
Then we got this one from Ashley. Says, I want to thank Greg for helping me get back into working out. I was holding off because I thought I was moving soon, but that's been postponed by at least 6 months, and I decided I didn't want to wait that 6 months to get started. I reached out to Greg telling him I wanted to get started again. He did not hesitate, and I was working out that next week. While I don't have a scale, I can feel the differences in how my body moves and feel stronger in general. I actually enjoy working out again, and he tailored my workout plan to the equipment that I have in my apartment's gym. His workouts are easy to understand, and he is quick to answer questions and consistently checks up on you. Thank you, Greg, for helping people like me.
absolutely, and it helps because Ashley, see, I know who everyone is an East Coaster, so our times match up. So like my 3-4 a.m. messages go right to her.
Perfect. It's trainwithmap.com/radradio. The mission Slim Possible 6-week challenge. If you do everything right, you get the full credit back. And of course, you can always just do the other things that Greg does for everybody. And Maptrition is available in the Stupid Store.
Superstore, actually.
At radradio.com. Have a great Christmas. Have a great trip back home.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Enjoy the ice cold of Boston.
Oh, God,
I will.
man.
And we will we'll see you next year.
Always.
All right.